I'd love to see the faces of all those who have been off camera for the sit. We can just take a minute and gaze at each other, as we would have done in arriving at a sesshin. We would have had a lot of conversation, introducing those we didn't know and all of that. So here we are. And I want to welcome everybody to our spring sesshin with Empty Fields Zen West and Sangha Jewel Zen Center. It's wonderful to be practicing again together and to be co-leading with my Dharma sister, Seido. So I want to welcome everyone who, all of you who were attending Sesshin, and also all of you who are just joining in for the evening talk. The talks generally each evening are addressed to those who have the good fortune to be able to participate in the full Sesshin. But even if you were able to attend only the evening talks, may you benefit from what is most essential in these talks, in our words about the Dharma. And you can practice with those words, those instructions, and those intentions as you go about your daily activities and responsibilities. And may you make discoveries in those venues from what we do together in the evenings here. Discoveries about staying in the present moment and seeing how the mind and the heart can open no matter what our circumstances are. So ordinarily in Sesshin, we are bodies gathered together in the same physical location. And we meet face to face and mind to mind and heart to heart. This spring Sesshin is beginning just after the vernal equinox. Spring is upon us. And even as the nature of our human experience rolls on, unchanged by the mutating viral conditions, the cosmos holds us all in its usual course. So, but this spring we're virtual rather than actually embodied together in one place. And it's odd, isn't it? Yet here we are in the Zoom sphere, and we're really lucky to have it. And here we are, as is, as always. The conditions are different. The locations are varied, and yet we all gather in one heart mind and discover this intimately. So even in these conditions, we do meet this moment face to face and mind to mind and heart to heart in its directness and simplicity. Each moment is very simple and direct. And just being. Who would have thought that we'd have to go to such lengths to make room for just being fully here? Yet our lives are ordinarily so filled with doing that just being requires a lot of arrangements and a lot of determination. Staying with our practice, attending a sesshin, requires us to tap great determination, determined to hold steady, to quiet down, and to relinquish our mental habits and sustain an open heart and go beyond the thinking mind, always going beyond. So we can contemplate how much effort has gone into being you up until this moment and now. And what kind of effort is the right effort for Sesshin? What is right effort in Sesshin? And what kind of effort gets in the way? So that's one thing that we can become much more sensitively tuned into during Sesshin, is the quality of effort, which is not about tension and pushing and getting and holding. Perhaps we could say effort in Sesshin is sustained, relaxing in this breath, in this moment. We call our Zen retreat Sesshin, which means resting the mind. Resting the mind. Resting the mind. How unusual. And when we say mind in this tradition, we refer to the heart of our direct experience and the intelligence of this heart. They come together in heart-mind. Not just the mind that thinks, but that which goes beyond thinking, to basking in the wholeness of mind, aware and sensate and embodied, the wholeness of embodied experience. That's what we are taking up in Sesshin this week. And those of you who aren't in Sesshin, bring this possibility into the busyness of your days this week. The wholeness of embodied, of embodiment. When we tune back into our original wholeness, we see more clearly how this is not dependent on just a special time or place or circumstance, but is always our wholeness. We are always whole and complete. Each circumstance, each moment, each condition, whole and complete in its own particular ways. At the heart of teaching, the heart of the teaching is a practicing Buddha who does not seek to become a Buddha. Right now, you have the ability to enter the realm of Buddha. But along with that comes the ability to also enter the realm of demons, past and present and future. Everything can come up during Sesshin. And most of you have done Sesshin and you know well the truth of this. Everything can come up. Any of our demons can visit us and can haunt us. But we needn't worry when this happens. Just know that this is part of our practice. And you can bring any of this, any of it, into Sanzen, which we will be offering. You can come into Sanzen for support and help sorting it out. And we'll be saying more about Sanzen as we go along. At the beginning of a Sesshin, it's essential to renew the vow to be with whatever comes up in the moment. Being with whatever comes up in the moment leads us to instruct. A standard instruction is not to read or to use devices, except for this Zoom, during Sesshin. If it's at all possible, let go of all of the ways that we escape our experience, all of the forms of entertainment. And really, just as part of resting the mind is resting in the moment, just as it is, and not seeking to alter it by using our usual devices and distractions. So to be willing to be with what is, we can ask ourselves, am I willing to be with what is? Whatever fills my thoughts, my body, my emotions, and use that as our focus, is focusing right within it. What is the body experience in the thought? What is the body experience in the body? What is the body experience in mood? Mind and body doing the same thing. So please let go of your worries and well-rehearsed habits of mind and feelings that you have to accomplish something, or you have to get something. Now, this is the most profound kind of renunciation. And practicing renunciation is over and over and over being willing to rest again right here and now in what is. And whenever the pull of habitual thought exerts itself, you can be firm and set it aside and say, no, this, and come back to the breath, come back to sound, come back in the body. We don't do Zazen through our thinking mind, though the thinking mind may be a constant accompaniment. But not getting lost in thoughts and feelings is the Zen of Zazen. Not getting lost. And also not getting lost in the words about Zen, like the ones I'm speaking right now. Sometimes we are encouraged to continue Zazen during a Dharma talk. And if you find that you're not even listening to the Dharma talk, that's okay. Or if the Dharma talk is filling you at the time, that's fine too. But these are words about, and they're prompts, supports, encouragements, hopefully, that remind us to challenge ourselves to stay present. So when sitting in Zazen, what is going on? Are you thinking? Are you not thinking? Are you beyond thinking? Or is what you're thinking about not really the point? All of this comes up. Like that question that sometimes surprises me when I'm in the midst of a long sit thinking, well, what am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing right now? I mean, all these little random commentary thoughts about the practice itself can be very engaging. When they arise, notice them, and then come back to the primary practice of presence through following the breath, listening to sound, being present in the body. So when we begin Zazen, we sometimes say that we establish mind-body stillness. I say establishing mind-body stillness, but we might just as well say discovering stillness that's already here. This is not, we're not efforting to try to make something happen that's not happening, but rather joining with what is already primarily, essentially here. Discovering stillness, refining stillness, becoming ever more still becoming still within stillness, more intensely still. Noticing stillness, noticing activity. So our first exploration when we sit down on our cushion is stillness. Because when we first sit down on our cushion, we have been in activity. So there's that transition into stillness. We do our utmost to put our seated meditation into practice. These are Dogen's words. We do our utmost to put our seated meditation into practice. Doing our utmost to put our seated meditation into practice, allowing the mind to seat in the breath, in sound, the flow. We all start this way, whether we're a seasoned meditator or a beginner. We bring the beginner's attitude of attention and not knowing into the practice of sitting and breathing. Just being a simple person, sitting and breathing. Immediate and genuine. Not putting on airs. On this first night of retreat, having gotten seated in our spot, we settle and settle and settle some more and focus our attention. This is a great opportunity and a rare blessing to be able to sit in company with others in silence and this intimate attention. One of the beauties of Sesshin is its simplicity. We live into the schedule. We surrender, we just rest into the schedule. Only doing what is at hand. And just when sitting, just sit. When working, just work. When eating, just eat. When listening, just listen. Whatever thoughts come and go, just let the thoughts come and go. As Adyashanti says, becoming and begoing. Becoming and begoing. The Dharma is self-revealing, void and clear. All we need to do during Zazen is sit and breathe. What does it mean to explore seated meditation without any extra overlay of effort or thought or expectation? Without your habitual little self sitting off somewhere mentally looking on or noticing when that's going on. But non-judgmentally. Just with interest. Oh, look at how that happens. Direct experience. And likewise, with all the other parts of Sesshin besides Zazen, chanting, eating, walking, working, resting, this body aware, engaged. Each mind moment, each body moment, touching, This is the meaning of Sesshin. So one more thing. Please be very kind to yourself. Don't listen to your inner critic or your inner slave driver or your inner perfectionist or your inner skeptic. You can notice them, but stay with just what's right here and now. Relax and be curious and see what you notice right here. So this week, Seido and I will be sharing a koan with you from the koan collection of the True Dharma Eye by Dogen Zenji. And I'd like to introduce you to it now. As I read, please engage the practice of just listening. You needn't worry about understanding, remembering, knowing, solving. It's just a story about an exchange between two people like you and me who are practicing the Great Way. So here's the koan. It's Nanyue's, it's not like something. It's not like something. This is the main case. We begin with the main case. Zen master Huairong of Nanyue, who's also known as Da Hui, went to study with the sixth ancestor, Huineng. The sixth ancestor said, "Where are you from?" Nanyue said, "I came from national teacher Huiyan of Songshan." The sixth ancestor said, "What is it that has come like this?" Nanyue could not answer. He attended on the master for 8 years and worked on the question. 8 years. One day he said to the sixth ancestor, "Now I understand it. When I first came to study with you, you asked me, what is it that has come like this?" The sixth ancestor said, "How do you understand it?" And Nanyue said, "To say it's like something misses it." The sixth ancestor said, "Does it depend upon practice and enlightenment?" Nanyue said, "It's not that there is no practice and enlightenment. It's just that they cannot be defiled." The sixth ancestor said, "Just this non-defilement is what Buddhas have maintained and transmitted. You are like this, I am like this. Ancestors in India were like this." That's the main case. And now the commentary. To set up monasteries and establish the teachings is like adding flowers to brocade. The wisdom that has no teacher pervades the whole universe, reaching everywhere. When it is truly seen, you go deaf, dumb, and blind. What is this? What is there to compare this to? How can it be expressed? Indeed, how can it be understood? Take off the blinders, set down the backpack. This is the peaceful dwelling. This is the peaceful dwelling. This is why it is said the 10,000 sages have not transmitted a single particle of the truth. Yet students throughout the world labor over appearances, and grasp at reflections. Tell me, since it is not transmitted, then why are there so many complicated koans and teachings? And then there's a capping verse. Blue sky, bright sun. There is no distinguishing east from west. Yet acting in accord with the imperative still requires dispensing medicine when the sickness appears. So this is the koan. One of the wonderful things about koans is it may, to some of you, be completely transparent, but it also may not make a bit of sense. And yet by the end of the week, we will all have had some insight into how this relates to right here and now in our own life. And that is our Seido and my delight in getting to work with you on this koan and plumb its depths and its treasures for all of us. We all learn so much together. So please allow yourself to relax deeply into Sesshin so that you can freely open to what is already completely open to all of us when we receive the Dharma. Thank you.